Hey everyone, this is Darren with Gen X Paranormal Investigations coming with you with another video. I do want to give a shout out to one of the guys we had investigating with us back in Cold Springs. You can watch the video and you'll see him. I did not say his name during the intro. My first time trying to do the video, and I was just trying to get everybody's name in there. I do want to apologize to T.O. So he was there. He's not a normal member, but he's a sometime member, and it was my first time working with him, and then first time trying to get the video. So I do want to apologize to T.O. for that and give him a shout out now, because he was there doing an investigation with us. So there you go, T.O. Got your name in there this time. Okay, now in this video, what I'm going to kind of do at the beginning here, we're going to talk about what our group is designed to do. What we're there for is to help people that are dealing with paranormal. Now, there's different ways that you can be dealing with paranormal. If you're in a situation, be it at your work or at your home, where you feel threatened, if things are, pushing you, touching you, scratching you, or things of that nature, we can come in, investigate, see what's there, and help come up with a way to resolve it and hopefully help it move on or get it away, whatever, to that degree. Or if you feel like something's in your home but you don't know, or you have things happen to you and you just want somebody to come in and see it for themselves, an outside party, for verification, we can do that too, because sometimes when you see something, you don't know for sure that it really happened, so we can do that. Or we can come in and during our investigation, we can give other possibilities of what is going on, and and how to live with it if there is something there. Because for the most part, most things are probably not going to hurt you. So those are some of the things that we do as a group. Now, I want to get this video out there with that, and with kind of what got me into paranormal, or wanting to do paranormal investigations. The story, I guess you could say my ghost story. I'm going to try to do one of these with each of the members in the group, so you get to see them, meet them also, and hear their side of why they are joined this group. Also wanted to give a quick update. We will have an investigation that we're going on toward the end of the month, so hopefully shortly thereafter we will get some new videos of actual investigations. We have one of the other guys, he's working on some more clips from the Cold Springs investigation that we did last month. So we will get that out to you as soon as we have all that stuff together. Okay, so here is, I guess you would call it, like I said, my ghost story, or my family's ghost story. My grandparents, my mother's parents, had a house which was haunted. Apparently they all had experiences growing up, so this haunting went on for decades actually, and several different things happened to different people along the way, so I'll kind of explain all that as I go. When they actually moved into the house was not completely finished. The man that they had bought the house from, there's conflicting reports that he actually died there in the house before it was completely finished, because my grandfather had to finish construction on the house. So I am not completely certain on that. Nobody knows for sure, because there were rumors that he died there. There were rumors that he died on the way to the hospital or in the hospital. So nobody knows 100% for sure on that. But I'm going to go through the stories as I've been told over the years. It was a two-story house. The second floor was not completed whenever that was the part of the house that was not completed. So that makes it kind of odd that a lot of the occurrences did happen upstairs, or a lot of people heard footsteps on the stairs. My aunt, my mother's older sister, was sleeping upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and in the middle of the night she looked up and saw two red eyes staring in the corner of the bedroom at her. Well, obviously it kind of freaked her out there, but nothing more ever came of it. A different time, after she had left home, excuse me, my mother was sleeping in that particular bedroom, and she felt that, you get that feeling when somebody's staring at you. She was turned like facing the wall. She says she felt like somebody standing at the edge of the bed staring at her, which, kind of gets unnerving. You're unable to sleep. Well, she says she laid there for as long as she possibly could. Well, then she finally just flung her arm back to see if she would actually hit somebody that was standing there. Well, there was nobody there. So she got up, slept with a light on the rest of the night. And she said that the feeling was still there, but it was not nearly as strong. Also, my mom and my aunt, there were two bedrooms upstairs, and different times of night they would each be sleeping in a different room, and then each one would hear footsteps coming up the stairs, but never saw anybody come up the stairs. So that was another thing that happened. Then several years later, my other aunt, my mom's younger sister, never had really any experiences in the house of that degree or anything like that, and she never really stayed upstairs. But my uncle was staying upstairs once in that particular same bedroom. He was laying there. He felt somebody come in, climb into bed, climb over him, lay down with him for a little bit, then climb back out over him and leave. Now, it seemed very odd that each progression in that room got a little bit more close to the person and more personal, which was very, very strange. Nobody ever knows really what happened. Well, also, over the years, they were younger at this time, high school age or younger when all this occurred. Well, they never spoke of this to each other until after they'd all moved out, came back home, visiting, and they talked about it. Did this ever happen to you? Yes, no, that kind of thing. And then the story started coming out. Well, my grandmother had things happen to her also. She would be sitting in the den and watching TV, and the rocker recliner, she would have a sensation that somebody sat down in it, and then it would just slowly start rocking. She was always under the impression, well, if somebody wants to watch TV with me, all right, I don't care. So it never bothered her. There were other times she would actually hear like dishes rattling in the kitchen or something, and there was nobody else home. There was another time where she was the only one home, and she saw a figure at the end of the bed, just a little. She said it looked like a little kid going, "Mama, Mama," and she always goes, "What, what?" And it would never answer other than "Mama." My grandfather, he had an experience with the stairs. He was in the living room, which was, the house was weird. There was no, most people think nowadays the living room's where all the main room where the TV is and everything like that. This house wasn't that way. It was the bigger room. It had the staircase going upstairs, and it was where the front door was, but it was just called the living room. We did not use it much other than like for Christmas, for big get-togethers. But he was home alone, and he was on the phone talking to somebody, and then he heard somebody coming down the stairs when there was nobody else home. And he's telling his friend he was talking to, he goes, "There's somebody coming down these stairs." Well, the guy tells him, "Well, get out." Well, he got out, then he calmed down, came back in, and then there was nobody there. So we still don't know what the deal is with the stairs. Well, now come us grandkids are coming along and we're hearing all these stories. So it was fun hearing the stories, but there were just certain rooms that were creepy. When we were kids, if we were playing in the hallway, like rolling Hot Wheels or something like that, the door to the living room, if it was open, we had to close it. There was just something strange about that particular room. On those occasions where everybody was outside, if we were, playing outside or, doing grilling or whatever the case may have been, if you had to go to the bathroom, you ran right into the bathroom and you ran back out. If you walked down the hallway past that living room door, if the door was open, you did not look in. And then we come to find out it wasn't just us grandkids doing it. It was our parents also had that same eerie feeling about that room, which was just very, very odd. Years later, we heard another story from my aunt, my mom's older sister. A friend of hers was sleeping over one time, and they were still in high school, and then she happened to wake up and look and saw somebody out the window, and she thought it was my grandfather doing something. Well, it wasn't until the next morning when she actually thought about it. They were on the second floor. There's no way anybody could be standing out looking in the window. So she thought that was weird. Then many years later, same friend of my aunt's, when my aunt was getting married, my aunt and her were staying in my grandmother's room downstairs, and then all of a sudden she saw a figure there, and she thought it was my soon-to-be uncle, and coming in, for whatever reason, but he wasn't there. It wasn't him, so nobody's really sure what was going on. Well, as the years progressed, some things happen. We don't know everything. When I was younger, what happened to me, my brother, and my cousin, we were staying over there one night. I may 10, 11, 12, that age range, I'm thinking. I don't know for certain. But we were sleeping on the pull-out couch in the den. Well, the bad thing about this particular house, there was no central air. I mean, it was an old house. So my grandmother actually had the windows open because there was a decent breeze. Well, hearing all these stories, the wind was blowing through the screen going, ooh, as a kid, hearing the ghost stories, and that's just the typical ghost noise. We weren't doing well with that. So my grandmother actually closed the window to just barely being cracked, so it made the sound go away. Well, in the middle of the night, sometime later after this, the door between the den and the living room opened. It has never, ever, ever done that. Well, what also bothered us also was because if you were to come down the staircase, when you get to the bottom landing right at the floor, the door is right on your right. So it was like somebody coming down the staircase opening the door on you. Oh, we were freaked out. So we had my brother went and got my grandmother. She came in, closed the door, gave us an excuse, the kind of thing you do. She just goes, oh, it just wasn't closed tight. I know better than that. Well, as the evening went on, wasn't sleeping well. Well, all of a sudden I started hearing cabinets and dishes rattling in the kitchen, where we're right on the other side, through the other door out of the den. So I'm just laying there listening and going, oh, what is that? Maybe my grandmother's in the kitchen, okay. But I was laying there for a while and it kind of stopped, and I finally kind of drifted off. Well, the next morning when I actually asked if my grandmother was in there, of course, she wasn't. I'm going, good grief. Well, I still wish to this day I would have looked around that corner. But being a kid, hearing all the stories, you don't. And it's one of those regrets. Part why I kind of wanted to get into paranormal investigation. Find out why. Why was that there? Why was it following everybody in the family? But there was still one more thing that happened to kind of everybody. My grandparents finally, they sold the house because they were moving, and everybody was in town. We were kind of having a get together one last thing at the house. So we were all out on the front porch. My grandmother was taking Polaroid pictures. The main wooden door was open, the screen door was closed. Well, like I said earlier, through that door was the living room. My grandmother took a Polaroid of her kids in front of the house. No problem. Then she took a picture of us grandkids. No problem. The next picture she took was of everybody. Well, that was one of these. This picture is different than the other two. In the first two, when you looked at the screen door, all you could see is reflection of our backs and like the tree and the yard. On the third picture with everybody, you could see into the house. You see a figure standing there behind us. Now, you couldn't see its face. It was like the face, you could see about this much, just this much of the person's face, because the rest of the head was above the overhang from the door. But you could see a figure standing there. Also, you could see into the house, into the living room, through the open door, and see the picture that was hanging up on the hallway wall. That's how actually clear it was. And the other two pictures, you couldn't do that. We stood out there for quite a while trying to figure out how that happened, what that was. Nobody is really sure. Like I said at the beginning, we don't know if this was the spirit of the gentleman who originally owned the house. Another theory is it could have been a spirit from the Battle of San Jacinto. It was really near where we were, so who knows where it actually took place, or if somebody was injured, made it off to where we were, and ended up passing away there. That's highly possible. So we don't know, and we never will. Or it could have just been, apparently certain people are able to see spirits more, or are attracted to them, or give off something that attracts spirits. Apparently my grandfather was one of these type of people. He saw apparitions his whole life, ever since he was a little kid. So who knows for sure what that was. But this was one of the main reasons, once I found that there was people out here doing paranormal investigations, trying to help people. That's what I want to try to make sure to do. Help people either understand what it is, if it's hurting them, if it's bad, evil, whatever your definition of that is, help get rid of it. To something like that. So, hope you like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel. That way we can get our content out there to more, so we can try to help more people. Like I said earlier, we're going to have another investigation coming up, so hopefully we will be able to get some more content like that out, and then I'm going to try to get each one of the rest of the group and why they got into doing what the paranormal like this also. Each person has their own different view on it, so I want to put that out there for everybody. Alright, until next time, thanks.